Alright, can everyone see the chart? We're good to go. Just a quick stream. I've got a few things to do today before I'm back at the desk, but I was going to record a video, but I thought let's just get everyone in on a stream instead. Can see the screen? We're good. Can you guys see the screen or no? Yeah, you can. Okay. Alright, so I really want to start with DXY. Okay. So to me, on the higher time frames, this is looking quite bullish. So I'm just going to go over everything pretty quickly. I'm not going to go into too much detail. I'll cover the dollar, BTC, ETH. I also want to look at ES and NQ. I have a few alts here as well, and nat gas. Okay. So we had a sweep here, the dollar. So a sweep here, and now we've broken structure clearly. Okay. And we had this fresh demand print last week, which we got a retest of, and it looks like we're going to continue up here. So as long as between this high and this low hold, okay, then I think we're due for a continued run up on the dollar. So any kind of retest of this level, followed by some more accumulation on the lower time frames, and I think we continue up. Okay, so we have, let's go down to the daily. So we have a sweep of these equal highs here. So like I explained in the strategy documents, rather than making our first objective all the way up here, let's say above these equal highs into this distribution, what we'll do is mark out the previous area of distribution that caused the previous down leg. So we had this down leg, now it looks like we're going up. Rather than targeting all the way up here, I'm looking at the previous area of distribution. So this low right here took out all of these highs. So it makes sense that if we are bullish, the first spot for us to test is about $104. Once we reach into there, if we start to get some more distribution, then obviously this uptrend is not going to continue, and we're most likely going to head down. Okay, but if we reach into this level and don't get any more distribution, and we continue to see weekly and even a monthly close up inside this range, then I think it's more likely that we head up a little bit higher. I would say the next obvious objective is above these highs. So we have a little bit of confluence on BTC and ETH as well to suggest that the dollar is bullish at the moment. But just like everything else, I'm just marking out the levels and trading level to level. So I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. So quickly on to the H4 before we move on. We have a sweep here. You can clearly see it on the H1. We have a sweep here and then a breaking structure. Okay, so I wouldn't be surprised. It is Monday. If we come out or come down, run out all of these lows and retest this accumulation just here. If we reach into there and get some more accumulation on the lower time frames and BTC and ETH are printing a short, then that's where the high probability setup is. It is Monday, so it'll be a little bit iffy on getting into any positions just yet, especially if we look at, let's clear this. What is this song called? Okay, so let me just get the screen on. If you can't, surely the bleep loops from entering and exiting it's not the mic chatter. Can everyone hear me or no? Yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone can hear me. Yeah. It's not that fucking hard. Like, bro. Holy shit. God damn, bro. Yeah, so it will be recorded. Everything is recorded. All the streams are. They get uploaded like not too long after. Where are we? Yeah, so what I was saying is that, oh fuck, I lost my train of thought. Good one, Blind Squirrel. Yeah, okay, so it is Monday, right? And last week we chopped about. I wasn't expecting us to chop. I was expecting an expansion to the downside, or at least just some solid setup, but I just fucking took a bunch of trades inside of this range and lost a bunch of money, but it is what it is. So we're Monday right now, and we have the previous week's high and low that are quite condensed because we just chopped about in this range. So the high probability setup most likely will not come inside of this range. It will come on the outside of the range. So if we are bearish, I would prefer a sweep of the range high, okay, of the previous week. If we can get a sweep and then some distribution there, then that's where the high probability setup for a short is. Okay, if we get something like that, then targeting the previous week's low should be a really, really easy setup. If we do get that and we do target the previous week's low, definitely taking some off there. But the thing is, once we take that low, there isn't much support between that low and all the way down here, okay, in this consolidation right here. So we may just get a further expansion all the way down to about 24 to 24.5. So rather than getting fucking chopped up again for the first few days of the week, I think I'm just going to sit out and wait. And it's a pretty similar story on ETH as well. See if we can get a sweep of the previous week's high. If we can, then look to short. If we get a sweep of the low first, however, and we get some accumulation there, then it's the same thing. Looking to long into the high. Okay, not doing so blindly though. If we get a daily close below here, then it does look a little bit more bearish than anything, and we may not get the sweep above here. But if we can break below around an open, let's say London Open or New York Open, get some lower time frame accumulation, then I'll long into the high. I am a little bit cautious of this, however. So we do have some equal highs here, and we have some equal highs here as well. So what I really don't want to see is a sweep of this low and then daily and weekly candles starting to close up above this high here. If we get a weekly close up above this high, then I'll probably just start sitting on the sidelines, and I'll probably stop trying to short. Okay. So moving on. ETH is a similar story. Let's mark this all out. I feel like I've just been fucking repeating myself for the last couple of months. There's been obviously some really good opportunities in some alts, but in terms of like BTC and ETH, we've just been sitting in this small range for months now. So I'm just going to continue to repeat myself until we get something solid, which I think we're going to sometime over the next week or two. So we've taken out this high right here after this decent leg up. So like I've been saying for a while, we've had 100% move since this low into resistance after taking this high, and we start to see some distribution. So it's not the time to be looking for longs. It may be a scenario where we continue up here and we continue to pump. That could very well happen. But for now, what I'm seeing is some distribution. So we've taken out that high. We've broken below the low that was responsible for taking that high. And now we've taken out these equal highs as well. These through here. And now we've broken below, let's say here, the low that was responsible for taking those equal highs. So we have a double confirmation right at resistance, right after taking this high. A pretty clear sign of distribution. I'm not a swing trader, so I'm not short here. However, I think we do get an opportunity over the next few days. So just like BTC, we had a pretty tight range last week. So I don't think that a high probability setup lies within this range. I think the most likely scenario, if you try to trade in here, you're just going to continue to get chopped up. So what I'll be doing is waiting for a sweep of the previous week's high, which happens to line up with the low that took out these equal highs as well. So this is how I got this range that I posted on Twitter. So if we can come up here, take out the previous week's high, reach into this low, and see some lower time frame distribution right there, then that's where the high probability setup is. So something like this. Anywhere inside of this range, okay? Maybe a little bit above, but I really wouldn't short below this high right here. Comprende? So this is some clean fucking charting here. It's really, really simple. Take out the high, break below the low, take out these equal highs, break below the low that took them. Now we have a tight range here, lots of liquidity resting up above the previous week's high, break up above it. If we can get the distribution there that tells us that people are interested in shorting, so we'll just piggyback that, and then we'll continue to short like BTC targeting the previous week's low. And then we have all of these equal lows, 1, 2, 3, resting there as well. So like BTC, even though the previous week's low would sit as a solid objective, just below it, there really isn't much support resting there at all. So we have a sweep here, followed by a break that hasn't yet been tested. So if we get the distribution there, I wouldn't be surprised if we head all the way down to about 1600. Now, if we reach into there and then we get some accumulation, then we could look to get into some more swing longs. If we don't get the accumulation there, then we continue to head down. Really simple stuff. And keeping in mind also, we could run out this high before dropping. If we do get a weekly close up above the previous week's high, so let's say we get a bullish close up here this week, then I'll probably just stop looking for shorts, wait for a retest of this demand, okay, and then look for longs. But for now, the shorts are looking much clearer. So I'm not ever going to try to make any fucking big price predictions. It's not really what I do. It's not really how I actually trade. All I'm going to do here is just mark out the levels and then trade once we reach into those levels. I don't really care what we do in between. I couldn't care less what BTC or ETH does or where it's at in the next couple of years. That doesn't really bother me. Okay. Moving on. What else did I want to look at? Right. Okay, so NQ, we did just get a weekly close up above this high, but just like anything else, like it's a pretty fucking easy rule to remember. When you are reaching into resistance, don't buy a breakout here. Don't do it. That's not, like, where are you going to put your stop loss? If you were to buy here, where would you put your stop loss? The risk reward is not there. Okay, so we've taken out this key high. If we can get some distribution up above the previous week's high, right here, followed by a drop off, then that would be a good intraday opportunity to get short. If we do drop off and then we start to close below this support here, then I think that's the end of this run, and we'll most likely see something like this. We'll just have to wait and see. Okay, for now, there's not enough here for me to get short, so I'm just going to sit and wait. But NQ, just like BTC and ETH and a bunch of other alts and a bunch of other risk assets, are all looking like we're headed into resistance and we're in a perfect spot for price to start distributing. So we'll just have to wait and see. If we can come up here in the next day or two, see some distribution on the lower time frames, then I'll look to get short. Okay, what else? Let me change this. Alrighty. What else do I want to fucking look at? So I'm just having a mental blank here. I should just get some chart requests off of you guys. Is there anything you want me to look at? Any coins? If you do suggest something, make sure you include the time frame that you want me to look at. Or if there are any strategy related questions too, please ask. I don't think anyone in all of these live streams has ever asked a strategy related question. It's always been it's always been like a chart request. Yeah, I can look at Sol. What did I have marked up here actually? Oh, I remember what fucking happened here, man. Jesus Christ. Oh, this shit is so annoying. So, was it last week? Yeah. Last week or the week before. So we were looking at, I had this marked up. Again, I had two potential areas to get short. So I got short here, above the highs, and some distribution on the lower time frames. I think it was on the M5 or the M15. Got stopped out on that. We came up, we ran some highs here, and we got some distribution here on the M5. Shorted that, got stopped. Then price started to run down, and I just stopped looking at the fucking chart. It's like some of the most frustrating shit, but again, this was one of the cleanest setups that I've seen in a while, and it's one thing to sit here and draw up a few lines or draw up some fucking, predictions on a chart, but it's a completely different story actually taking the fucking trade, especially after you've been stopped out 2 or 3 times. Okay. So it isn't as easy as it looks. And that's one thing about this strategy too. It isn't as easy as marking things out and entering a trade. Okay. Especially when, like, this is a perfect example. So we had a valid setup here, we got stopped out on both, and then price continues to run. That's why I tell you guys, you need to collect statistics. That way you have an idea of what your trade frequency should look like. Okay. So if you get stopped out once, twice, 3 times, are you still going to look for shorts? Okay. And my strategy permits me to look for another short. I just stopped looking at the chart because I was pissed off. But there you go. So, Sol. You didn't say the time frame, so I'm just going to go over this setup here. So we had a bunch of equal highs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 highs right here, all swept. We got some lower time frame distribution. You can see this sweep here and another sweep here. And then we broke down. We broke down here, leaving more equal highs. So this, literally one of the cleanest setups that I've ever fucking seen, and I fumbled it. So then we come up above the equal highs, we take out both of them, okay, and then we get some distribution here. Again, just like further solidifying how fucking clean this setup is. So frustrating. It's reaching into the distribution, the low that took out all these highs. Another sweep, another break, a perfect retest, and you see the drop that we have there. Okay, more consolidation, another sweep, another break here, returning, another sweep, and another break. Really, really clean stuff. So we're reaching into support. Will the support hold? Rather than just like blindly punting a short here, thinking that the support is going to break. Wait for a retest, wait for some more distribution, which is exactly what we got. So I'll get rid of this now. Let's see what I can get out of it. Reset alert. So like if you work or you have a family and things like that, then you should definitely get in the habit of setting alerts. But I literally just sit here in my office looking at charts all day, working on other businesses, playing games and shit. So I don't really need to set alerts because I have all the charts up on my screen pretty much the entire day. And another thing is, really you should only be looking for the levels to get tested around certain times of the day as well. So if you get, let's say, you get a sweep and a break in the middle of Asia, you shouldn't even be taking the fucking trade anyway. You should be waiting for London Open. So you probably don't even need alerts as long as you can sit at your computer 1 hour before, 1 hour after each open, the daily open, London and New York. Let me just see if I can get out of this. Yeah, so now that we've taken out this key swing low, just here, so we had equal lows, this low and this low, and we've just taken it out today. It's not the best time to be looking for shorts. A small retrace would make sense here. We have this bit of supply. You can break it down a little bit more. Okay, so we look at this down leg here. What caused this down leg? You have a sweep. And then a break. Then a sweep. And another break here. Okay, so this is the current down leg. If we are bearish, let's say, we would be expecting this down leg to hold. So rather than like blindly shorting here, what we would then do is wait for price to retest the distribution that caused the down leg. Essentially, if price is going to continue to be bearish, the people who are selling here or the people who are interested in selling at these levels should either be interested in selling more or at least defending their position. So it would make sense that this range holds between this low and this high. So now that we've taken out this low, you could expect a retrace. I would look at this level here. Another good thing to look at in this scenario specifically, you can see this high was probably the most obvious high that was responsible for taking that low. If we can reach up above it and get some distribution on the lower time frames while also retesting the previous distribution, then that should be a good high probability setup. And I'll cover that a bit in the strategy documents. So that's Sol. I think there's not enough evidence to go long even though we've taken out this low here. I think that the structure remains bearish. We just have to wait and see. Definitely not the best position to be going short either. So just like BTC and ETH, I think we're due for a little bit of a pump early week. If we can get a short that's in line with BTC and ETH as well, then that would be ideal. No problemo, buddy. Litecoin. I love you so. I never know. Oh, this is looking good. For more upside from around 88. Yes. Good spot, buddy. Okay, good. Okay, so we have a sweep, one high, two highs. We've taken them out. We've broken below on the H4, the low that was responsible for taking the high. We come up, continue to range. We have a key high here. We drop off. We take that key high out. So hopefully this helps breaking down the thought process. The ideas are simple, but it does take a long time to be able to kind of see the setups quickly. So taking out this high, this is the low that took that high. We got that break here and some more distribution here. So an ideal short setup would be taking out all of these equal highs in here. So this is a pattern that I cover in the strategy documents as well. But let's say we have some distribution, we take out the high, and then we get some equal highs left here. Even after a big expansion to the downside, I still wouldn't be interested in really entering in this zone. The most ideal scenario would be to actually take out these highs, get some more distribution, and then short. Okay, so if you're short in here, well, a few years ago, what I would do is I would be getting short in this area, even if it's a double confirmation. Price would come down, I'd see the expansion, okay, getting attached to this trade. Price would then come up above these highs, become so close back to my entry that I end up just closing the fucking position, when really what you should be doing is definitely looking to add to that shit. So let's say you're in a situation like this where you have all the highs just below the distribution, wait for price to reach up above, and then look for more distribution there. So it's kind of like what we're seeing here, and it's actually one of my favorite setups. If you go through all of the trades and analysis channels, you'll see that the majority of the setups that I take actually just look exactly like this. Okay, so if we can get a little bit more of a pump today and some more distribution, then that would be a very solid short. Now, in terms of what you said for some more potential upside, so if it's going to continue down here, which makes sense that it should, because we're reaching into resistance, we're getting some distribution, we should expect the previous distribution to hold. So the first thing that I'm expecting would be a retrace to this zone and then a drop off. Now, once that happens, if we do get a drop off here, we need to start looking at potential areas where price is either going to stop and then retrace up before more downside, or for a continuation of this leg. Okay, so we don't really have much down here or in this zone here, but if we come down, we have a sweep right here, and let me see it a bit clearer on the M15. Yeah. Okay, so we have a sweep right here, and then a breaking structure just here. So if we do get that leg up today, and we get a short, or today or tomorrow, and we get a short setup, looking to short into about 88, maybe just below. Once we reach into there, if we get some accumulation, then look into long. Okay, if we don't get accumulation there, then I think we head much lower, but let's say we do, longing into the distribution just here, taking some off. If we don't get distribution there, then expecting some more upside, but if we do, then we continue down. Okay. Are you looking for an on or off ramp, Geisenberg? On ramp. Just CoinSpot or Coinbase. The only downside to that is their fucking fees, man. The fees are just insane. Especially as an off ramp. Paid 6 figures just in fees. It's fucking literally. It's just robbery. It makes no sense. Could probably actually use Bybit, but I've never looked into it. Yeah. Bybit or Binance. Didn't somebody post the other day that you can't actually withdraw from Binance now? Or deposit spot in Australia? Yeah, thought so. What peer-to-peers are there though? Okay. Yeah, and I'm just super impatient too. Like when I want to get some fiat out, I want it done really quickly. So I just use Coinbase and CoinSpot. It's just instant, but it's just so bad. Like their fees are just absolutely horrendous. Okay, continuing on. that had Gauge and SPX are both the highest considered valid. Over experience, we found it best to pay attention to the obvious high. Okay, so I'll cover this actually. The fuck is this song, bro? Okay, so the question was, are both this high and this high valid when I'm looking for a sweep? Or are we better off just waiting for the most obvious high, which would be this one, to get swept? Okay, so to answer that question, I have to break it down a little bit. So so it looks like now that we're probably going to head for this high, unless we can break down below this low here. I think almost all of the time you're better off waiting for a sweep of the most obvious high. However, when you look back here, we've taken out these highs, and then we got a break in structure here. We've left a key high inside of this range that looks like it can get swept. So we took out that high, and you can see the drop off that we had. So ultimately, I think it just depends. So in this example, we had some distribution, taking out these equal highs, and then we have this key high here that was inside of this range. So you could have a high probability short still here, rather than just waiting for this high to get taken. I hope that answers your question. What else? What's happening, bro? Is there anything else you guys wanted me to look at? Already looked at it, bro. You only just joined in. I think SC is looking for a similar setup. We're broken up above this key high. I wouldn't long here. Makes no fucking sense to long here. If we can break up above over the next few days, probably get a short setup. To see. Anything else? See you later, buddy. Alright, I think I'll just call it there. These new strategy documents, I've been away a little bit, going on holidays, festivals, things like that, but I'm getting back around to it this week. So I'm expecting it to be done either at the end of this week or the start of the next. I'm really looking forward to that. I talk a lot about gathering stats and always trading based on the statistics that you collect, but I've never really spoken about how to gather them and how to build your own strategy. So hopefully that helps you guys out. I'm pretty fucking excited for that. It's crazy. Alright, fellas, I'm off. I'll see you guys around London, New York. Love you too, bro. See ya.